Well, hello there and welcome back to Wheels of Interest, and today we're out and about just north of Cambridge in the UK, and we're at Cheffins Machinery Sale Ground. We're here for the first vintage sale of the year, and today is Friday, and on Fridays sale number 1 takes place, which is behind me at the moment, and they are currently selling vintage agricultural machinery sales leaflets, machinery leaflets, workshop manuals, signage, model tractors, various agricultural bygones, and we're going to take a walk around, see what we can see. Tomorrow is Saturday, and where the big sale takes place. There's 3 or 4 sales that run concurrently, which include vintage tractors, classic tractors, steam engines, commercial vehicles, cars, motorbikes, automobilia, and various vintage machinery, wheels and vintage tractor spares. So today is busy because there's lots of things moving around and being put into place ready for tomorrow, but there's not many people, so that means we can get a clear view of what's on offer for sale for tomorrow. So follow us around and see what we can see.
Right, this time away at £70. £3.40, the agriculture manuals there, £50 for those, 30, 20 cents. £3.42, last one to your lucky dip, we're going to be on that stock, somewhere around £50 shortly, 50, 30, £20 then, £5, £5 for the first, £5 with the price, and £10 for the next, £50 for the feet, £20, 20 feet, 25, 25, 30 feet, £30, 35, 35, 40 feet.
Out in the yard we've got all sorts of machinery bygones, engines, tractor spares, wheels, generator sets, all sorts of stuff, roller mills, 3 or 4 of those, various horse harness, we've got various kitchen bygones on here, washboards, butter churns, waffle makers, all sorts of stuff here. There's an early rotavator, some more modern garden tractors, wheelbarrows, early lawn mowers, chaff cutter, cleaning and gleaning, winnowing machines, all sorts of various agricultural bygones. Quite fascinating, and this happens 3 times a year, this sale, and stuff still seems to keep coming out of various sheds and workshops off of farms, from people's houses. Quite incredible really where all this stuff comes from. There's usually a good selection of ploughs here. This time, interestingly, there's no trailing ploughs, they're all mounted. There's lots of Ferguson ploughs, there's one just here. Next to that we've got a David Brown. Lots of Ransom ploughs, they're very common. 2, 3 furrows. Some of them painted up, some of them aren't. There's a big 5-furrow plough there. Tractor plough, big man's plough that is. A big subsoiling unit, another 4-furrow Ransoms, Massey Ferguson 3-furrow reversible, a couple more Ferguson ploughs, they're very common. There's a single furrow Ferguson, there's a really big deep digger crawler plough. Look at the size of the moldboard on that. That's a big plough. That's for breaking up some ground, breaking virgin ground and getting really deep down. Got a horse plough there as well, you can see those turn up quite regularly. Another Ferguson plough. Various agricultural machinery, cultivators, scrapers, ridging bodies, all on toolbars so that they can swap the tools around. You can change what you want on the toolbar, you can put tines on there, you can put ridging bodies there. There's a basic toolbar there onto which you would bolt the tines, the equipment that you would want to use. Then we've got a Massey Harris hay rake that's been restored sometime in its life. Ferguson drill for drilling seed, some discs, another Ferguson toolbar, an interesting hoeing machine, hoeing attachment. There's a mowing machine, loader, a couple of loaders, one for Ferguson tractor, a big elevator that comes off the back of a threshing drum, so the threshing drum would spit out its straw into the elevator, and the elevator would take that up high so they could then stack the straw. A reasonably modern conventional baler, John Deere. A little grey trailer, little livestock trailer for carrying 2 or 3 sheep around, and a 1970s caravan, which the thing I absolutely love about the caravan, I've seen these before, is these gutter units. So the gutter off the roof there into a little hopper, down the pipe and away down to the ground. Absolutely brilliant, I love that. Got various tractor trailers here, muck spreaders, farm carts, fertiliser spreader, all sorts of things. Quite an ancient looking horse box. There's a horse cart with rubber wheels now. Another lister elevator, that's for putting bales on, to take bales up and stack them onto a rick. And a rather interesting looking horse box. Huge compressor unit, diesel driven. And a really nice looking farm cart. Could do with a lick of paint, I think. It's been restored in the past. Could be doing again, I think. And a really old Velga baler as well. That's interesting. And another horse cart at the end, and next to that, Morris Minor pickup. It's a bit of a rare beast. Full restoration required, though. I think that's in a fairly poor way. Yeah, the back end seems to have fallen off. There's generally a good selection of stationary engines here as well, in various states of repair. Some of them have been painted up in the past, some of them have not been touched at all, been found in a shed. Some really interesting stuff sometimes. And yeah, if you're into restoring machinery but you haven't got much space, then the stationary engine is a good place to start. Nice little Ruston Hornsby PB engine there, right for restoration. Looks all complete, in good condition. Bit of petrol. Get a spark on it, should go. Another Ruston there, it's been painted up in the past on a nice little trolley. There's an American engine with a water pump, a Kewanee water supply company, built in Illinois in the USA. Interesting design. And actually, if you look at the mechanism, all of those gears inside there, just really interesting to see. Crossley engines, lovely Crossley engine there, nice size. Lister engine, Emerson and Brantigham, the Bamford engine, Associated line, all sorts. Really nice little engines. Lister Ds, they're very common engines, little single pot listers. Made thousands and thousands of those. There's 3 in this sale, 2 on that pallet and 1 just there, and a really nice Crossley there on a trolley, right for restoration. It looks like it's been painted up in the past many years ago, probably could be done it again. Yeah, nonetheless, nice engine. I have a few cars at this sale, and there's a nice lovely Bentley there. Big Mercedes saloon, 1978, something like that. A more modern Mercedes there. A very old Flanders 20. Looks like a Model T Ford, but it's not. Interesting. That's obviously been restored. Little Moggy Mine 1000. That's in really nice condition. That looks lovely. Nice colour too. Yeah, that's been nicely done. So the Flanders 20 was manufactured by the EMF Motor Company in Michigan in the USA. Built in 1911. It's got an English registration on it, so presumably it must have been an original import, either that or it came in later. But it's got an old registration on, SV4002, so that's an English reg, certainly not American. Nice car. It looks like a Model T Ford, but something a bit unusual. Little Ford Anglia. Really nice little car, that. Nice original condition by the look of it as well. If you're into Ford Anglias, last on the road in 1983 by the look of it. Attach this there. That's really nice. That's been in a barn somewhere and been looked after. There's a modern Mini and a relatively modern Rolls Royce, or rather it's a G-Reg, so that's 1970, 1969, something like that. Something I've never seen before, and this is absolutely lovely. This is a little Honda Coupe E-Reg, so that's 1967. It's in really nice condition. It's got an 800cc engine in it. It's a tiny little car. It's absolutely lovely, really pretty. But what I find quite amusing, it's got an 800cc engine and twin exhaust pipes. How does that work? Still, it looks pretty cool, I have to say. I'm really quite taken with this. But it is a bit small for me. I'm 6'5" tall, so yeah, I think I'd struggle to get in it and drive it comfortably. But it is a really nice, pretty car. There's always a good turnout of motorbikes here, ancient and modern. Triumphs, Nortons, all sorts of interesting stuff. Mopeds as well. Projects, if you want a project on a pallet, BSA, Yamaha. Early pre-war Velisets, Sunbeams, AJS. And having just come back from India, I've seen lots of Royal Enfields, and there's 3 or 4 in this sale this time around, so yeah, quite familiar with those. A couple of bicycles, butcher's bike there somewhere, and at the back there's an old tandem as well. Ripe for restoration, I think they call that. Some fairground equipment. This always makes lots of money. People go mad for the fairground stuff. Carousel horses, signage, pinball machines, placards, all that sort of thing. Really nice Royal Enfield there. Really like that one. Triumph and another Enfield. Really lovely, beautiful condition, lovely patina. Have to confess, I don't know much about motorbikes. Not really been a two-wheel fan, if I'm honest. Do like looking at them. Nice Triumph Tiger there, that's a really nice one. Lovely condition. And a Royal Mail bike, ER, GPO, General Post Office.
Built by BSA.
Always lots of spares, motorbike spares, car spares, signs, whole box of magnetos down there, single cylinder magnetos, multi-cylinder magnetos, all right for restoration. Where this stuff comes from is just beyond me. It all just seems to turn up. All sorts of things. Bit of nostalgia for me. I used to have one of these when I was a kid. Wish I still had it. It was a dark red one. Chopper bike made by Raleigh in Birmingham. I don't know what happened to my one, but I wish I still had it. And there's always an abundance of enamel signs. These make big money these days. Really popular. These first lot here, these are all food related, pet food related, household products. Further down we've got more signs to do with garage, oil, agriculture, etc, etc. But the signs always make a lot of money. But the best sign here has got to be this one here. This is absolutely fabulous. It's in two pieces. It's clearly come from a garage workshop business. Central Garage Motor and Agriculture Engineers, Leeds Town. What a fantastic sign. I'll be interested to see what that makes. Fantastic patina, absolutely spot on. I love it. Really, really good. So the highlight on the Saturday is the big sale of tractors, commercial vehicles, steam engines, and we start off with a fair selection of Land Rovers this time around. Series 1, Series 2, Series 3, and quite a few. There must be 6-7 Land Rovers. Ex-military. There's a Discovery there, Discovery 4. Ex-military Land Rover there, modern Defender. Series 2A, another TDI Defender 90. A couple of Toyotas, pickups, Land Cruisers, Daihatsu. Another modern Mini. Unimog. That looks like a bit of an ancient tool. Got some rust and rot on the bodywork. Little VW pickup. Commercial vehicles from Ken Thomas. Really nice condition. Been restored beautifully. and an AEC from TV&J Jeffrey, little port near Ely. A lot of commercials this time around, big stuff. Tractor unit, old Dodge there, 1971 by the look of it. An old Leyland and a Dodge, early 70s, late 60s. Another Unimog. Volvo F10 tractor unit. A big timber tractor. That's in very nice nick. That looks like that's being used for something. Lovely. And to finish off the vehicles, the road-going vehicles, lovely little Willys Jeep. Really nice. Complete with trailer as well by the look of it. In the steam section we've got a lovely Foden steam wagon. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. What a really lovely thing to look at. Absolutely fabulous. Looks in really nice condition. Looks that's well looked after. And a Ransom single cylinder. No, I take that back. A Ransom's compound traction engine. Now we have one of these, but we don't have a full-size one. We have a 2-inch scale model. It's in dismantled condition though, which needs a bit of work. So I'm going to be climbing all over this a bit later on, taking some measurements off it, because this is pretty much identical to the one we have. Ransom's compound, I think is a 6 horsepower one, this one. Ours is an 8 horse, or an 8 horse model I should say, 8 horsepower. But nonetheless, pretty much shares common parts apart from the size of the engine itself. The cylinder's slightly bigger. So we'll be taking a look at this and getting some photographs off it so that we can start making some progress on our little model that we've got. There's a lovely Fowler Showman's tractor just here. Looks in really nice condition, although you never can tell with steam. Clearly you have to have it properly checked over by the boiler inspector to make sure that the thing is safe to use. Nonetheless, it's in nice condition. The inspection ring is off so that you can see inside and check the tubes. And the last of the steam line this time around is this really clean and tidy Marshall roller. Nice colour as well. Again, the inspection plate is off so we can see inside the boiler. There you can check out the tubes, see what it's all like inside. Very nice condition. It's got good rolls on it as well. Very nice. So there'll be some money change hands tomorrow, that's for sure. Some really nice steam engines, 4 in a row, really lovely. So the highlight of the sale for me are the vintage tractors. So this sale's been going many years. I first came to Cheffins sale when it used to be just on the outskirts of Cambridge. That's now got an industrial estate on it. And I actually bought my first vintage tractor from Cheffins back in 1981 at a sale near Royston in Hertfordshire. I remember I paid £160 for a Fordson E27M Major, and I bought that from Cheffins Grain and Chalk, as they were then. So this sale has been going, as I say, many years. It moved from Cambridge to Chilford Hall at Linton and was there for quite some time before moving up to the purpose-built sale ground at Sutton near Ely, just north of Cambridge. There's always a good turnout of tractors here, and we've gone from vintage tractors to classics, and you can hear in the background there's a lovely Ford 10 Series just started up. To me, that was a tractor that I worked on when I was learning at college, but it would be now 30 plus years old, so it qualifies as a classic. In front of us I've got a Ferguson Brown Model A, and there's actually 3 of those in this sale, and they are, you know, to get 3 is quite something. They're not very common, but they're a lovely little tractor. There's a forerunner to the Grey Fergie, built by Ferguson, or rather built by David Brown to Ferguson's design, and this one in front of us is beautifully restored. Looks like it hasn't done any work since it was restored. The paint is still intact. The other 2 we'll walk round to in a moment, but they are also in very good condition. Next to it we've got an Overtime, which is the English version of the Waterloo Boy, which was the forerunner to the John Deere company. John Deere, of course, still going in their own right as a tractor manufacturer in America, and they had manufacturing, still probably have manufacturing facilities in Germany as well. So a very nicely restored Overtime or Waterloo Boy. Also next to that we've got a really nice industrial Fordson Standard N. Nice clean tractor, lots of lovely patina, beautiful headlights on it, really good tyres. The whole thing looks fantastic actually, really nice looking machine. One for the collection if you're a Fordson enthusiast, that's for sure. Here's the other 2 Ferguson Model A's. One looks like it's been cobbled together with some other bits from other tractors, not fully painted up, and the one nearest the camera, and then the one further away has been an older restoration by the look of it, but both equally nice tractors. Again, one for the collection if you're a Ferguson enthusiast. It's a really nice little tractor to have. Really nice Roomley oil pull tractor, built by Advanced Roomley in America, United States of America. A big prairie tractor. Lots of iron for not a huge amount of horsepower, but nonetheless that's how they were back in the day. Would have been an American import. Could be a recent one. Clearly it's in restored condition. Looks like it's a runner. And then we have a MF 1200. Now these tractors were MF's first attempt at the big articulated 4-wheel drives. Reasonably successful, very well sought after these days. Big sellers at these sales of counties always make good money. Very popular tractors, counties. Based on Ford skid units, 4-wheel drive conversions by county themselves. An older county Super 6, B-Reg, so that makes it 1963, something like that. That's quite an early one. Next to that, Field Marshal, thousands of those in the UK. Big single cylinder diesel. Again, another county with a dozer on the front, and a 944 next to that, and then we've got a big Ford TW15, really majestic looking tractor. Ford 7000, real mainstay of the agricultural industry in the UK in the 1960s. That and Massey Ferguson, very popular tractors. Ford 1000 series and the Massey 100 series, 165s, 185s, 135s. Very popular tractors. And a 7610 Ford from the early 1980s. Here we have a few Massey Fergusons, 1980s again. Fordson Power Major, actually a Super Major from the 1960s, early 60s. To what is now Ford, or what was Ford is now New Holland. So you've got quite an evolution, that shot there. Got the Super Major and then the New Holland TS115. Ford 4610. Another little Massey Ferguson, and would you believe it, 4 Model A's. There's another Ferguson Model A. Incredible. That's a nice little tractor for restoration, that one actually. Could be some bits missing. It's got no steering wheel on it. But for somebody that wants to restore one, that could be a good buy. So they're built by David Brown in Yorkshire. It's a Ferguson's design, and they were the first tractors to have the Ferguson system of hydraulic linkage lift for handling implements, so that instead of trailing implements around like a horse used to, you could actually lift them up and down out of the ground, and it made use of those implements much easier. Ferguson Brown Model A, very nice little tractor. Mer Hill was a big manufacturer in the 70s and 60s, gone out of business now. 4-wheel drive, big tractor. Common sight back in the 70s, no longer now though. Here we've got a Fordson Model N, a very early Model N, 1930, and it's got a track conversion on it, and it was called a Fordson Traxon. Quite an uncommon machine, don't see many of these around. Built in Cork in Ireland, based on a Model N tractor. Farmhall Super Cub, nice little compact tractor. It's got an interesting plough on the back, so it's effectively a reversible plough. So you've got 2 Mulbirds opposing each other, and you basically put one in the ground, plough your furrow, get to the end of the furrow, turn around, put the other one in the ground and come back the other way. So it's effectively a reversible plough, and you don't have to cultivate 2 lands at once. You just basically go up and down the same row. John Deeres are always popular. Got an Industrial M there, a big Model G, and an Orchard Model A with all the fairing on to protect the trees when you're working in an orchard. There's always a fair amount of Fordsons at this sale, varying ages. Fordson standard Model Ns, blue ones, green ones, there's an orange one here somewhere as well. Another modern Massey. Big John Deere 4020 from the 60s. And a really nice Fowler FD3 crawler. That's in lovely condition, that is. Nice powerful crawler tractor. Fowler's own diesel engine in it. Very nice. And tractors that I used to work on back in the day, now considered classic, 1455 Case International. There's some big heavy American tractors now, 5020 John Deere diesel, huge prairie tractor, 4-wheel drive. Next to that, International 806, another big American tractor. Quite possibly American imports. It's got Wheatland written on the side of it. Would have been way too big for the farms in this country when this was built. So it's been shipped in recent times, I would imagine. Big prairie tractor there. Next to that, another John Deere 3020. Again, another import. A couple of modern masses and a Ford. And what looks like a really interesting crawler. Very unusual. It's called a Schneider. Ripe for restoration, I think you'd call that. That's the sort of thing I'd buy. It's not quite a pile of bits, although there's a load of spares with it just there. But yeah, that's the sort of thing I'd buy and then stick it in the shed for 20 years and then think about fixing it at a later date. But yeah, that's an unusual machine. Huge engine in it. I mean, look at the size of it. It's a 2-cylinder diesel. Look at the stroke on the engine. The height of the engine is just unbelievable. I bet that's got some torque. Wow. That's an interesting machine. I like that. Trouble with crawler tractors though is they're always too heavy and too hard to move around. Even little ones like this. So the Schneider tractors were made in France by the look of it, and apparently they made tanks. So yeah, that explains the crawler track system. Very interesting tractor. And here we've got a roadless Fordson Standard N. Interesting machine. You see a few of these around sometimes. So it's got roadless tracks on it. It's very similar to the Traxxam we saw a little while ago. Built by Roadless, I think Middlesex near London, with a Fordson Standard N skid unit. Very nice Massey Harris pacemaker, in very nice condition, well restored by the look of it. At least it's got a decent paint job. And next to that, a nice solid Caterpillar D2 as well. Got a winch on the back. Very nice. A really nice crawler tractor if you're into crawlers. TD14 International. Big heavy crawler, plenty of power. Now what's interesting about this is that International designed an engine which was dual fuel. So it ran on diesel, but you started it on petrol. So there is a carburettor with spark plugs and a magneto. You'd start the engine on petrol, get it warmed up, and once the engine was warm, there was a big lever on the dashboard where it swapped over from petrol to diesel, and there's the diesel pump and the injectors for running it for the rest of the day. It's got 1943 written on the side. Whether it's 1943 I'm not sure, but it would be around that sort of time. Big tractor, very nice. But again, it's a crawler, you need some kit to move it around. There we have an orange Fordson N, only made for about 18 months. Apparently the story goes that they decided to paint them orange, having been green beforehand, and there was a whole load of them parked somewhere in a field, and Hitler saw them from the air and decided to bomb the lot. So after that they turned to blue. So the orange Fordson, not many of those made, because not in that colour anyway, because of that so-called story. And we've got some Massey Harrises here as well. So a twin power row crop.
I remember the name because there's one or two pictures in other
Massey 55. The Massey Harris was the forerunner to Massey Ferguson, of course. Canadian company. A lot of these would have been imports fairly recently. There's a Super 101 twin power, and next to that was a little Massey Harris pony. You do get quite a lot of imports in this sale. They're coming from America, so they're not necessarily original UK tractors. International 275, quite a common tractor in this country, built in Doncaster. Another super major. And here we have a David Brown, which is based on the Cropmaster, but it was called the Thresherman. And there was two types. One was for threshing contractors for running threshing drums, and the other one was for use on the airfields, towing bombs and such like around for aircraft in World War II, the end of the war. And the Cropmaster next to it is the agricultural version. International F12. That was before International started styling their tractors. You'll see one shortly. There's a far more further down, but this was the forerunner to the letter series, so the F12 series, F series. So yeah, a nice big case L. It's got little back wheels on it though, which make it look a bit strange, but again, an older restoration. That would have been from the 30s, early 40s, something like that. Alice Model B, another one. There's 3 or 4 of these in this sale. This one's got a straight front axle, so it's a later model. I think from about 1940 they changed from the bow axle to the straight axle. And they also started making them in the UK at that point as well. Originally made in Racine, Wisconsin in the USA. Very common tractor in the UK, the little grey Fergie. There's always plenty of these for sale at this venue. Made from 1946 to 1956. Petrol, paraffin and diesel. And there's a little bit of an imposter there with a little Fordson Dexter in the middle of them. Thousands of Fergusons made. Very, very popular tractor, exported all over the world. And following on from that, there's a little Ferguson 35, which was the successor to the Grey Fergie, built by Massey Ferguson from about 1957 onwards. David Brown, another really important manufacturer in the UK, very popular. And here we have a styled Farmall BMD. BMD denotes that it was made in Britain, so it's Farmall British M, Model M, D for diesel. Built in Doncaster, Yorkshire, UK. And a really nice clean John Deere Model D. Again, been restored, looks in very good condition. You have to be careful with some of these though. Sometimes they've got a nice paint job, but do they actually run well? Have they been properly repaired internally? Engines, gearboxes, axles, etc. They might look nice painted up, but are they actually any good inside? Buyer beware is always the mantra you must follow. Clayson combine, which turned into New Holland. This is a New Holland badged up Clayson. If you're feeling brave, you can buy a big John Deere 955 combine, but you'd need somewhere to put it if you did. 950 David Brown. My father had one of these for quite a few years. It's quite a nice little tractor. Wish we still had it. Bits missing off of that one. And we've got here an Oliver 80. And you'll probably find out on the channel that I own a couple of Olivers and a Hart Par. And I've got an 80, but it's a row crop version, whereas this is a standard version. Unfortunately, as with all of these, the exhaust manifold's cracked, so it won't run without that. Well, it will run, but it'll make a lot of noise. Other than that, it looks quite a clean tractor actually. Built in America, Charles City, Iowa, in the late 30s, early 40s. Next to that, we've got a David Brown Trackmaster, and they're quite a rare tractor. You don't see too many of these around. Based on the Cropmaster engine, I believe. Petrol TVO or paraffin. 4-cylinder, nice little crawler tractor. This is a tractor with an interesting history. So this looks very much like the Grey Ferguson, but it's actually a Ford. Now Ford and Ferguson had an agreement in the late 1930s for Ferguson, or rather for Ford, to use Ferguson's design to build a tractor. Now, Ferguson actually only had the design of the hydraulics, and the Grey Fergie is actually a Ford tractor. So it started life as a Ford. It had the Ferguson system in the back, and then Ford and Ferguson fell out over copyright rules and lawsuits and all sorts of things, and Ferguson took the Ford design, brought it back to the UK and built the now very, very ubiquitous Grey Ferguson. So the Grey Ferguson is actually a Ford design tractor with the Ferguson system in the back, and there was all sorts of lawsuits going on when this was taking place. Ford sued Ferguson, Ferguson sued Ford, all sorts of things went on. Be that as it may, of course Ford went on to big things. They were already a big company. Ferguson also went on to big things, and effectively became big rivals with Ford and Massey Ferguson. And as I say, the rest is history. So when you talk about a British tractor being a Ferguson, it started life as a Ford in America. And if you want a project, here's a box of bits. So there's a back end on some rear wheels of a Case DC row crop tractor, and in the box is the rest of it. Single front wheel down there with the casting on the front. There's the grille. Lots of engine parts. The engine is completely dismantled. So there's something for a winter project. Again, it's the sort of thing I'd buy, believing that I could knock it up, put it back together in 10 minutes, when in reality you're looking at a few years' work there. There's another Thresham and David Brown. I believe this one was an Air Force tractor, according to the plate. It's got a huge winch on the back. It's missing its front wings. It should have big front wings over the front wheels. It's grey coloured, so it could quite easily be an Air Force tractor. And although, as I said about crawlers being heavy and difficult to move, this is a really nice little Holt. And Holt were the forerunners to Caterpillar. This is pretty much complete by the look of it. Needs work though, it's not running. The magnetos, there's parts of that are missing. The air cleaner's missing off the back of the engine there behind the fuel tank, but the rest of it is all intact. But again, it's a crawler, so things are heavy and cumbersome, difficult to move around, but nonetheless it's an interesting, nice little tractor. Another combine. So this is an interesting little thing, Massey Ferguson 780 Special. Now this looks like a contraption, but it was a proper combine. Got a Fordson parked very close to it, it's not so easy to see. It's about maybe 12-foot cut, 8-foot cut, something like that. But really interesting, because this was like one of the very first combines, self-propelled combines. And if you're into combine harvesters, this would be a nice little thing to buy. Take that to a working rally, do a bit of harvesting with it. Very interesting. Again, you need some space to use it and store it, because it's quite big. As we get towards the end of the sale line, you start getting some of the old stuff that's been dragged out of a hedge. Now these tractors are for the brave or people that want parts tractors. Definitely hedgerow candidates, these things, found under trees, in hedges, behind barns with trees growing through them, all sorts. That one definitely found in a hedge. It's got ivy all over the back wheels. Yeah, so you can see anything and everything at this sale. If you want to buy a project, you can come for a project. If you want to buy something that's fully restored, you can buy something that's fully restored. Now this little Alice B, although it looks a bit rough, it's all complete. Actually, that might be a good buy. It's an early one. It's got a bow front axle, and with it, it's got a hoeing attachment on the back, and everything's there by the look of it. And these are lovely little tractors. It's got a beat lifter. That's what we've got at the back. That's an English tractor. It's got an EAB 630 registration on it. It's an early one, so that would have been made in America and imported back in the 30s, 40s, early 40s, something like that. Nice tidy little tractor that. Whether she's a runner, I wouldn't know, but it wouldn't take much to get going, I don't think. And then finally we've got a very early JCB there. Big bucket on the front, huge back actor. Open gearing for the back actor. Very early JCB. Ford skid unit, of course. That's what the early JCBs made, using Ford parts, Ford engines at least, and gearboxes and back axles. So there's a preview of tomorrow's sale. Tractors, cars, agricultural bygones, engines, steam and commercials. We'll come back tomorrow, see what some of this stuff makes. Be interested to see what the steam engines make, some of the older tractors, the Land Rovers, and see if we can actually bid on something. You never know, something might take my fancy. Maybe it's best to leave the money in the pocket. So it's day 2, Saturday, at the Cheffins sale. We're going to have a walk around. Looks like the weather's going to stay dry today. It's pretty chilly, pretty windy. So I'll let the auctioneer do the talking so we can see what stuff's making. A lot of people here today. I'll try and get some good shots of the stuff that's up for sale. But it's going to be crowded, so bear with us on that one. So let's have a walk around, see what we can find.
The 8-foot C-type, 4 horsepower Merlin. In your hands, ladies and gentlemen, how do you value this wonderful engine? Where we're going to be, put me in some round, where we're going to be 250,000 for it, surely. 250. They're in your hands, ladies and gentlemen. 250,000 or 220,000 for it, surely. 220,000. It's going to start me at 200, surely. I'm in your hands, ladies and gentlemen. 200,000. Where are we going to be? 180 I have. Thank you, sir. At 180,000 pound I have. At 180,000 pound I'll be here at 180. At 180,000 pound 182. At 182, 184, 186. At 186,000 pound I'll be here at 186,000. 186,000, 188,000, 190. At 190,000 pound I have right-handed here, sir. 190,000 pound I'll be there at 190. At 190,000 pound I'll be there at 190,000 pound. This is in the market, ladies and gentlemen, selling right now. At 190,000 pound I'll be there at 190,000 pound. It's right-handed here then. At 190,000 pound I'll be there at 190. I will take two now. At 190,000 pound I'll be there at 190. At 190,000 pound I'll be there for the Foden seat up here then. At 190,000 pound I'll be there at 190. It's right-handed here then. At 190,000 pound I'll be there at 190 pound. This is in the market and selling today. At 190,000 pound I'll be there at 190. It's right-handed here then. At 190,000 pound I'll be there at 190. I'll call the bidding three times then. At 190,000 pound once. At 190,000 pound twice. The third and final time, ladies and gentlemen, this will be sold today at 190,000 pound, and I sell them for the third and final time then, and selling at 190,000 pounds. Your bid, sir, 190. Thank you. Normal staff. The 1911 Ransom Sims and Jeffries, 6 horsepower double compound, double crate compound. Two speed as well. There we go. Put me in where we're going to be. Put me in 120,000 for it, surely. 120,000 again, surely. 120, 110. Well, £100,000 surely. 100,000. Where are we going to be? £100,000, 90 I have. At £90,000 I got there at 90 on bid. At 990,000. At £90,000 I got there at 90 on bid. I'll take two now at £90,000 on bid here at 90 on bid. At 90,000 now. At £90,000 on bid there at 90,000. At £90,000 on bid there at 90 on bid. At £90,000 on bid there at 90 here. At £90,000 on bid here at 90 on bid. Is there two now surely? At £90,000 on bid here at 90 on bid. It's on the main then. At £90,000 I got there at 90 on bid here. Is there two anywhere now surely? At £90,000 on bid here at 90 on bid. At 90,000 now. At 90,000 pound on 92. At 92, sir. At 92 on bid here at 92. 4. At 94,000 pound on bid here at 94. 94 now at 94. At 94,000 pound on bid here at 94. At 94 for a very, very original engine here now. At 94,000 pound on bid here at 94. 96. At 96,000 pound on bid here at 96. At 96,000 pound on bid here at 96. Make it 8 now at 96. At 96,000 pound on bid here at 96,000 pound on bid here at 96. 98. At 98,000 pound on bid here at 98. 98 on bid here at 98. At 98,000 pound on bid here at 98,000 pound on bid here at 98. Make it one way now. At 98,000 pound on bid here at 98. 98 on bid here at 98. At 98,000 pound on bid here at 98. You're out right at it, sir. At 98,000 pound on bid here at 98. At 98. At 98,000 pound on bid here at 98. Put it up where then, surely. At 98,000 pound on bid here at 98. 98 on bid here at 98. At 98,000 pound on bid here at 98. Is 100 where now, surely. At 98,000 pound on bid here at 98. At 98, at 98,000 pound on bid here at 98, make it one if you want it now surely. At 98,000 pound on bid here at 98, 98 on bid there at 98, at 98,000 pound on bid here at 98, fair warning on this one then, at 98,000 pound on bid here at 98, the hammer's up, you lose it this time of the way then, fair warning then, at 98,000 pound it goes then, at 98,000 pounds, we're going to have to withdraw to that money I'm afraid. Do please come and see us gentlemen. At 80,000 pound on bid here at 80,000 pound on bid here at 80,000. At 80,000 pound on bid here at 80 on bid. At 80,000 now. At 80,000. At 80,000 pound on bid here at 80,000 pound. You're coming back, Andrew. At 80,000 pound on bid. 80 on bid. At 80,000 now. At 80,000 bid. At 80,000. At 80,000 pound on bid here at 80,000 pound. I'll take two again now then. At 80,000 pound on bid here at 80 on bid. At 80,000. At 80,000 pound on bid here at 80,000 pound. Take it two where now surely. At 80,000 pound on bid here at 80 on bid. At 80,000. At 80,000 pound on bid here at 80,000 pound. Is there two or not now then surely? At 80,000 pound on bid here at 80 on bid. There's two or not. Fair warning done then. At 80,000 pounds is with the last thing done then. At 80,000 pounds. We are very, very close on that now. 38,000 now. At 38,000 a bid. At 38, at 38. At 38,000 pounds on bid there to 38. The bid is on the field here. You're out online. At 38,000 pounds on bid there to 38. 38 now to 38. At 38,000 pounds on bid there to 38,000 pounds. You're out online. At 38,000 pounds on bid there to 38. At 38. At 38,000 pounds on bid there to 38. We'll call the bidding three times again now. At £38,000 once. at £38,000 price for the third and final time then at £38,000 I sell then on the field then. Fair warning is on then at £38,000. Just here, sir, £38,000. That's now 12, 15, 18, 2,000, 22, bid here at 22, 2, see number 2 on bid in at 2,000, there, that's 2, number 2, that's 2 on bid in at 2,000, 2 bid in at 22, I want the formation to see here at 22, that's 2 on bid in at 22, 22, 23, 23, 64, 64 up to 64, that's 2 on bid in at 2,400 bid, that's 2 up to 64, that's 2 on bid in at 24, left at it this time, that's 2,400 bid, that's 2 up to 64, that's 2 on bid in at 24, setting this time, that's 2,400 bid, that's 2 on bid in at 24, hammers up this time, and it goes in, left at it is up there, that's £2,400. £40,000, brilliant in the market and selling today. That's £40,000 on level of 40 bid. After you're out, that's £40,000 there. Now for £40,000 I sell on the telephone then. That's £40,000. £40,000 I sell on the telephone. That's £40,000 on there and 40 on bid. Now for £40,000, that's £40,000 on bid and 40 bid. The hammers up. This is selling right now then. At £40,000 money goes right handed down then. At £40,000. Your man Jack, £40,000. Thank you.
Did you see that?
Now, at 35,000 now, at 35, at 35, at 35, on bid there, 35, 35, hammers up this time, at 35, 36, 36, at 36,000 bid there, 36, so we sell one time today, at 36,000 bid there, 36, 36 now for 36, at 36,000 bid there, 36, bidding it now then, at 36,000 pound on bid there, 36, 36 on bid there, 36, at 36,000 pound on bid there, 36, 37, 37, at 37 bid there, 37, at 37,000 pound on bid there, 37, 37 now for 37, at 37 on bid there, 37, at 37,000 pound on bid there, 37, bid there, 37, 38, 38, at 38, keep going gentlemen, at 38,000 pound on bid there, 38, 38 on bid there, 38, at 38,000 pound on bid there, 38, 38 on bid there, 38, 39, at 38,000 pound on bid here at 38, 38 on 38, at 38,000 pound on bid here at 38, make it line away now if you want now, at 38,000 pound on bid here at 38, 38 on bid there at 38, at 38,000 pound on bid here at 38, hammers up, fair warning this one then, at 38,000 pound he goes this time on then, hammers up and down then, at £38,000, sold 38,000.
That's rather nice then. 25.54, there we go then. Where do you see this one then? Where do you want to be? Got VAT on it, where do you want to be? Start me somewhere around 500 to get on, Johnny. 500. £500 to start me, 5-4. 3 bids, 300 pound, thank you. 300 now for 300 bid, and 300 now for 300 hand here, and 300 now for 300 pound a bid, and 350 now for 350 bid, 350, and 350, 400, and 400 now for 400 pound a bid, and 400 now for 400 pound bid, and 400 now for 450, 450, 450, 500 pound, and 500 back in the field, and 500 pound, 550, 550, and 550, 600, and 600, and 600 now for the 600 pound infield, 650, 650, and 650, 700, and 700 pound a bid, and 700, 750, and 750, and 750 now for the 750, it's online here, and 750 now for the 750 a bid, and 750 make it 800 now, and 750 now for the 750 a bid, and 750, and 750 now for the 750 a bid, 750 now for the 750 a bid, and 750 now for the 750 a bid, 750 betting online, that's 750 pound, I sell all the time here, that's 750 pound a bid, 750, last chance on it then, that's 750, hammers up and away that need, I'm quite sure, that's 750 pounds, online.
So we're going to leave that there today. There's a few more tractors to sell yet, but we've had a long day standing up, watching people buy stuff. We've even bought some stuff ourselves, little bits and pieces, and yeah, we're going to call it a day. It's been busy, a lot of money's changed hands, and yeah, we'll come back in July, in summertime, do it all again. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe if you enjoy what we do and want to follow our mechanical adventures, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care and bye for now.